What's up guys, it's Rob. Today we're going to talk about our Punisher and Punisher XL pegs. Now we offer these pegs in 2 different sizes as well as 4 different clevis options. Our Punisher peg is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, where our Punisher XL peg is 2 5/8 by 4 1/4. The first of the 4 clevis options we offer is the Classic HD clevis. Now this clevis is found on most Harley Davidson. The next 2 are the ST18 Rider and the ST18 Passenger. ST stands for Softail, 18 stands for model year 2018 and newer. And the last clevis option that we have is the stepped clevis. This is an offset clevis that moves the peg for forward controls or crash bars. Now, if you need one of these clevises, you can tell by your stock setup. It'll have the same offset. Now that I've explained the 4 different clevis options, I'm going to show you those 4 different clevises so you can know which one to order for your bike. Here we have Ottos FXR, and he has the Classic HD clevis setup. I'm going to show you what that clevis looks like off the bike. And for reference, I'm going to show you a comparison of our stepped clevis. And like I said before, if your bike comes with an offset clevis, this is the style you will need to order. So now that I've explained our HD Classic and our stepped clevis, I'm going to go ahead and show you the ST18 Rider and Passenger clevis. The first step for installing new pegs on your 2018 and newer Softail is removing the old ones. So there's a little C-clip right here that you can see. You need to take that off by a little flathead screwdriver and just prying that up. Now be careful, keep your finger on there and don't let this shoot across the room because you're going to need to reuse this. Once you got that clip off, you can go ahead and remove the pin. It slides out. Once you got that pin out, go ahead and remove the peg and the spring. Now you're going to need to reuse this spring in your new setup. So here we have the Punisher XL ST18 Rider peg. So inside this clevis is a little hole. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you need to install the spring right back into that hole. As so. And then you're going to need to put the other end of the spring into the other hole in the female part of the clevis receiver. But before we do that, I like to take our pin and actually put some anti-seize on here to help in ease of movement, as well as not binding or letting any corrosion happen under there. So once you've got some anti-seize on there, take your spring and your clevis on your peg, slide it in, rotate it. You'll be able to feel the tension of the spring, and go ahead and insert your pin. Once you have your pin inserted, you're going to take your C-clip that you removed and install it back on the end of that clip, or end of that pin, excuse me. Takes a little bit of persuasion. And there you go. You can see how the spring is properly inserted and everything is locked down. Now, one last thing. Even though our pegs already come mounted to our clevises, I like to remove the bolt, add just 1 drop of red Loctite. You don't need much. reinstall it. And tighten it back down. Now this also gives you an opportunity to clock your peg in whatever position you like. Some people like them flat, some people like them a little tilted. For me, I like it somewhere right past flat. There you go. Your rider peg is installed. Now I'm going to show you the install on the passenger pegs for 2018 and newer Softails. Now, first thing I want to point out is on the passenger pegs, there is a spring detent, and that keeps it up or keeps it down. Now, this is important because when removing this, there's a spring and a ball in there that can and will shoot across the room and potentially be lost forever. So pay attention to that. I'll show you right now. First step, just like the last, take off the C-clip. Once you have the C-clip removed, push the pin through. Now that the pin is out, you are ready to remove your stock peg. Now, like I said, there is a ball and spring detent in here. So what I'm like to do is to fully cover everything, because when that spring and ball shoots, I want it in my hand. And I'll show you here shortly. Okay, there's the ball and there's the spring. Now you're gonna need to reuse these parts on your new peg. So before we install the new peg, just like the last one, I'm gonna go ahead and grease our pin with some anti-seize. I'm going to take our Punisher ST18 passenger peg, and what I'm going to do is, you see that there is the hole for the spring and the ball. Now, to make this easier on the install, I like to take out this little shoe in here. Put this down. Shit. I like to take the shoe out and pre-install that over the new peg setup. And what this does is it helps capture the ball and spring, and you can insert it as a one piece. Now that you've got that inserted, you can take your pin that you've lubed with anti-seize, fit it through, make sure it swivels, and lastly, take your clip and install it back on there. Now, once you've got it all installed, just make sure that that positive detent is working. You'll hear a click and you will feel it. That's it, guys. So now you understand the differences between our two different size Punisher and Punisher XL pegs, as well as our 4 different clevis options. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us at service@biltwellinc.com.